Okay guys, good morning. This is Mike here from Athlon Helos Sporting Optics. I'm doing a little video here to kind of talk about a video that Slav Guns done. I'm not calling Slav Guns out or anything like that. Don't get that. Slav and I have been talking via email. I've never talked to the guy on the phone. I've actually talked to him in a live chat and stuff like that before. Watched some of his videos. He does a really good job. He did do a video where he had the Arken EP-4 Gen 2 versus the new Vortex Venom, and he brought up some good points, but there's some stuff that, you know, as in any video, I mean, if you critique something or somebody wants to critique my video, I mean, it is what it is. It could be done, right? I mean, I do things and say things that may not be 100% correct. Like the other day, I got the elevation in the Maven was off by 10 MOA. It's 120 and not 130. So that's just one thing. So everybody makes mistakes, and I'm not saying that Slav did. I'm just going to point out some things that I've seen when I looked at a Venom. Now, I don't have a Venom here. I know a guy that has one, and for whatever reason, he wouldn't let me use it for a video, which is fine. He's a Vortex guy, and that's fine. I mean, if you have a following and you like something, you like it. The Ford, Chevy, Dodge, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, to get to the point, the internals on the Venom, I would like to know what the internals are. I've heard they're plastic. I've heard some other things. I know what the internals is on the EP-4 Gen 2. They're steel. They're steel internals. The turret feel, to me, we're really close, but I would give it to the EP-4 Gen 2. And I prefer the reticle in EP-4 Gen 2. Now that's my preference, right? Okay, so that's a preference. This scope here is a little over a year old. It's been on a couple different guns, and it has been used in matches. It does have a sticker on it just because we peeled it off and put it back on there. But anyways, for lack of a better term, this scope has been used a lot. It's never failed us. We've not had to send any. I've only sent one EP-4 Gen 2 back, and that was before a battery issue. And I've sold several of these. They were hard to get. I agree with that. And you know, when you call Arken, sometimes you don't get a hold of somebody. Sometimes you get email address. So there's something to be said about that. This is the Arken. This is the EP-4. Now, this is a $600 scope. If there is anyone out there that doubts the toughness of this scope, this particular scope, send me a Vortex and let me test it. I'll test it. This scope has been tested thoroughly. It's been frozen. It's been tossed across the yard. The turrets have been fire starter, you know, like this. Give you an idea. Turned really hard. This scope has been used. This scope is right at, well, it is 2 years old. It's actually a little over 2 years old. This is one of the very first Arkens that I ever got when I started my company, Athlon Helos. I've used this scope extensively. I've compared it to a bunch of different scopes. This scope has always repeated to zero. It's always dialed properly. Now, does it have the best glass in the world? No, it's a $600 scope. I mean, you're not going to get a Porsche for a Volkswagen price. It just doesn't work that way. Now, some companies will try to make the best product they can for the money, and I think Arken has done that. Now, do they have some other issues with this guy? Growing pains? Yeah, they've got some growing pains. But so does Vortex. Vortex has all kinds of pains all the time. I have had several Vortex scopes that I've had to send back. I've had to send back brand new out of the box. Now, is that a quality control issue? That's what I would think it is. I have not had to send very many of these back, guys. That's the truth of it. I've sent one back out of probably 200. And I don't sell a lot of scopes. I'm not a huge dealer. I sell scopes around here where I live, and a few people online. When I get my online sales going, I hopefully sell more. But the thing about it is what I'm saying is, we use our equipment, and we use it hard. I'm going to show you a scope that I think tops both of these, And where it suffers, in my opinion, is maybe the reticle. Now, that's the Helos BTR Gen 2. This thing has lockable turrets, pull up, push down. The windage is the same way. I know I got the camera zoomed out there a little bit, but I'm trying to make this video as cover as much ground as possible here. So the Helos BTR Gen 2, we have used this scope a lot. We had it in competition. We got a kid, actually we got 3 or 4 kids running this now. I see kids, they're younger guys. They're in their, 18 to 25 year olds running this scope. And they changed from this to this. Now, why did they do that? Because this is a little bit clearer at longer range than the SH4 Gen 2. Plus, they had a little more money. I mean, this scope sits in a price range, that $400 area, $479. I think they are now. So it's in that area. So under 500 bucks. This scope is a solid $600. I mean, it just is. It's a $600 scope, and it works really good. It repeats to 0. It does everything it's supposed to do. I like the lockable turrets. They went with this because some of the guys that shoot with us also hunt, and the reticle's thick enough for them to use it on low power to hunt with. Plus, the illumination's really good. Okay, it's not that the illumination on the Arken's bad. It's just when at full power, when you turn the illumination up on the Arken at full power, you start to see some starbursting in there, and all that is just the materials they use to build the scope. Turn the illumination down, and it's just fine. This scope works pretty good for hunting. It's not quite as clear at longer ranges as the Helos BTR. These are both Chinese scopes. I like the look of the Arken better. Me personally, I like the reticle better in the Arken. Okay, but these other guys, they wanted the clarity. They wanted that little extra clarity. They wanted a little thicker reticle. So they upgraded. They spent more money, and they moved to the Athlon Helos BTR. Now, with the Helos BTR, all you get in the box is the scope and a battery. That's it. With this guy, you get a sunshade and a battery, and that's it. Notice I'm not saying anything about this scope. This scope here is not illuminated, so it doesn't fall in the same category as these two. These two could be long range and also long range predator scopes. This one here is not illuminated, and it doesn't really fall in that category. This is simply, in my mind, a target scope, and it does a very good job of that. This scope has been used and abused, like I said, a lot. I've got videos of it being used and videos of it being abused on my channel if you guys want to check that out. We have also used this scope, the Arken SH4 Gen 2, and abused it as well. We've raped the turrets pretty hard, and I mean like fire started the turrets. Let's do a Vortex Venom that way, guys. Somebody give me a Vortex Venom and let me test it the way I've tested the Arkens, the way I've tested the Helos. Okay, we have tested these scopes, and we have tested these scopes, and I'm telling you, $600 bucks. It's hard to beat this for $600 bucks. Lockable turrets. The turrets feel good. Is there a little slop in them? Maybe a little bit. Is there any slop in these? None at all. So again, $479, $600. This guy right here is $600 bucks. It has a little thicker reticle in it, a little more geared towards hunting. It is a great target scope. We've proven that. We've got it on some 22s. We got it on some long range guns. We got it on some big guns. We've got kind of all our bases covered with this scope right here. We've not sent any back for anything, nothing. Okay. Only one repair issue on this that I've had personally. It was a battery issue. I open all the boxes on my scopes. when the Arkens anyways. And I test the batteries before I send them out to customers just to make sure that they work. I have a battery that I use separately. I just want to make sure when the customer gets it from me that it's been looked at. I don't know if they test that or not out of the factory. I don't know. I just know what I do. I've not had any issues with the Athlon Helos BTRs, and I've not had any issues with the Arken EP-4s. Okay, I've not sold a lot of these. I've sold probably 20 or 30 of these, but the ones that I've sold, the people that's gotten them, they still have them. I think there's one guy that maybe doesn't have his anymore, but he moved to a different scope for whatever reason. When you look at these scopes like this, and you're sitting here and you're comparing the reticles, the turrets, the illumination, the glass, a lot of that is going to fall under personal preference, what you like and what you're comfortable in spending, okay? Would I opt for this scope over this scope? Or would I opt for this scope over this scope? This, in my mind, for $600, I would buy this scope over the EP-4 because it has illumination and because I like the turrets. I like the lockable turrets, I'll put it to you that way. Okay? I like the reticle better here. The reticle in this is a little bit heavy for me, and I've stated that in previous videos. Overall, this scope right here is the winner. Now, if you want to compare the Venom to something, compare it to this. I think, in my mind, that this guy right here has better internals than the Venom. I know the internals in this are steel, and I've heard, I don't know for a fact, I don't have a Venom in front of me, but I've heard that they're plastic inside. And plus the Venom is not illuminated, okay? So quick response to Slav's, he kind of left it open for people to comment. I thought I'd just make a video, and he'll watch it, he'll watch the video, and he'll comment back, I hope. And he seems like a really cool guy. And it's not that I'm trying to really say anything other than my experience with these scopes have been really, really good. And I'm talking about the Arkens. My experience with the Heloses have been really, really good. We use our stuff in competitions and we dial the crap out of them. We use them. And I have experience to go off of because I know what we've done with these scopes. I don't know what he does with his scopes. I don't know what he does, his background. I don't know any of that. All I know is what we do. I can't speak for that. I've never talked to him on the phone. Slav would like to email me, my email address is pantherhollow@mail.com. He has my other email address as well. And my phone number is on there. I'd love to talk to you about it, Slav, if you would want to talk to me about it, and maybe help me understand the thought process in which you came to where the Venom was somewhat better. Which I understand the eye box and stuff like that, and again that is a matter of preference. It really, really is. It's how you set your gun up. You can set it up in certain ways to make it work. Now, I don't know about the eye box. I didn't get to test the Venom like that. I know the eye box on this is quite forgiving. On high power, the eye box on this is a little tight. It's not bad, and it's the same way here. It's a little tight. But again, it depends on what you're doing with it. If you're on low power, say mid-range, hunting with it, the eye box is fine. I don't ever hunt at full power. So, and a match, you're going to turn it up to, that mid-range or a little over. And that's where you're going to set it unless you're doing some precision work at long range. And that's kind of where this one is a little bit different because at long range, the reticle kind of covers up the dots at, around that 900 to 1,000 mark. It's kind of thick, so you want to dial it down a little bit. But again, we've had guys upgrade to this scope because they hunt and also shoot matches with the same gun. So, again, this is Mike from Panther Hollow Sporting Optics, guys. I appreciate you watching. Slav, I'm not calling you out, dude. I just want to share information. I want to learn myself. there's something that I missed on the Venom that when I looked at it, and again, the guy that has one did not let me review it, and you know who you are. And I'm not calling you out either, partner. I'm just stating that, hey, if you're a Vortex guy, man, back them. Back the Vortexes. I don't have any Vortexes. I don't carry any Vortexes. They require me to carry too much stock to be a dealer, and I'm not carrying all that stock to be a dealer. When there's other scope companies out here like this, Athlon and Arken, higher end stuff like Valdata, and there's even people out there like the Maven products are really good. And I don't make anything off this by saying anything that I'm saying. I'm doing this for you guys. I sell these scopes. Now, I make money when I sell them, but I don't make any money for sitting here making a video. I don't have enough subscribers or anything like that for anybody to really take a serious look at my channel. So hopefully that'll change one day. But as of right now, it's not that way. So just so you guys know, I get no money other than the sale of these products. And to tell you that when I started this whole thing, I started it because there's a lot of guys that use products and back them for different reasons, right? And so a lot of those reasons, let me put it to you this way. If you were a Harley Davidson guy and you drove a Harley Davidson, you rode a Harley Davidson, which I have had, right? Harleys are great bikes. Kawasaki came to you and says, man, you're a great rider. I'm going to give you a Kawasaki. You're going to be a Kawasaki guy. That's how that works. So nobody's giving me anything, okay? And I'm not asking for anything. I'm just simply stating that sometimes that's how that works. Now, I don't know anybody else's situation. I'm just telling you mine. I base this channel on what I see and experience-wise and what I've used. And I can tell you, I've used the absolute crap out of this scope right here. I am super surprised that this scope still runs. Okay, for the price that it sits in, I have done stuff to this scope that I would never, ever, ever do to one of my Valdatas, one of my tracks. It's a lot easier to afford $600 than $2,700. Okay, it's a lot easier to afford $479 than it is $1,600 like the Chronos. Yeah, you get my point. $600. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Slav, great video, buddy. I hope you enjoy this one. Comment below. Let me have it. Let me hear your worst. I appreciate you guys for watching.